Imagine standing on the edge of a city that touches the clouds, where the air is thin and the view is endless. This wasn't just a dream for our ancestors. Across the globe, from the Andes to the Himalayas, culture spoke of towering cities that reached for the heavens. These weren't just myths, they were memories of real places, now lost to time. Today, we are going to explore these ancient sky cities, their possible locations, and the tantalizing clues left behind. If you've ever wondered what secrets the clouds might be hiding, stick around. This journey is about to get high, literally. Cross-culture references to sky cities, recurring myths from Mesoamerica to ancient China. Across the globe, various cultures have woven tales of sky cities into their mythologies. These stories, often describing grand cities floating among the clouds, share striking similarities despite the vast distances between the cultures that created them. In Mesoamerica, the Aztecs spoke of a place called Aztlan, a mythical homeland that was said to float on a lake surrounded by mountains. This city was not just a physical location but a spiritual one, a place of origin and destiny. The Aztecs believed that their people came from Aztlan, guided by their god Huitzilopochtli, and that one day they would return. In ancient China, similar tales emerged. The Chinese spoke of a celestial city called Penglai, one of the 3 mythical islands of the blessed. Penglai was said to float in the Eastern Sea, accessible only to the worthy and the pure. It was a place of eternal youth and prosperity, where the immortal beings lived. The Chinese emperor even sent expeditions to find Penglai, hoping to bring back the elixir of life. These expeditions, however, were fruitless, as Penglai was believed to be shrouded in mist and only visible to those who were truly virtuous. The concept of sky cities is not limited to these 2 cultures. In ancient Greece, the philosopher Plato wrote about the lost city of Atlantis, a utopian civilization that sank into the ocean. While Atlantis is often depicted as an underwater city, some interpretations suggest it was a floating city, suspended in the air. The idea of a city floating in the sky or sea is a recurring theme, hinting at a universal human fascination with the unknown and the extraordinary. These myths often serve a deeper purpose. They reflect the hopes, fears, and aspirations of the cultures that created them. Sky cities represent a longing for a better world, a place free from the hardships of everyday life. They also embody a sense of mystery and wonder, a reminder that there is more to the world than meets the eye. Whether it's Aztlan, Penglai, or Atlantis, these stories continue to captivate our imagination, bridging the gaps between cultures and time. Architectural impossibilities, structures described as floating or suspended in air. Across various cultures, tales of ancient sky cities and floating structures have captivated imaginations. These stories often describe architectural marvels that defy conventional understanding of physics and engineering. In many accounts, these structures are said to hover or float in the air, suspended by unknown forces or technologies. For instance, some descriptions mention crystals or other materials that could manipulate gravity or create anti-gravitational fields. These ideas, while fantastical, hint at a deep curiosity about the limits of human ingenuity and the natural world. In Tibetan Buddhist traditions, the city of Shambhala is often depicted as a floating paradise. Descriptions vary, but some texts suggest it is suspended in the air, accessible only to those with pure hearts and minds. The city is said to be made of precious materials, glowing with an inner light. Similarly, in Hindu mythology, the city of Shambhala is sometimes described as a celestial realm, floating above the earth. These accounts emphasize the idea of a place beyond ordinary human reach, a sanctuary of wisdom and enlightenment. Native American legends also speak of sky cities. The Hopi people, for example, tell stories of ancient cities that once floated in the air. These cities were said to be inhabited by advanced beings who possessed knowledge far beyond that of ordinary humans. The structures were described as being made of light or other ethereal materials, allowing them to defy gravity. These tales often serve as moral lessons, emphasizing the importance of living in harmony with nature and the spiritual world. In some African traditions, there are stories of floating islands or cities. These accounts often describe structures that hover above the ground, supported by invisible forces. The exact nature of these forces is rarely explained, but the stories emphasize the idea of a place that is both real and mystical. These floating cities are often depicted as places of great beauty and wisdom, accessible only to those who are spiritually pure. The descriptions vary widely, but the common theme is one of awe and wonder at the possibilities of human achievement. Possible symbolic interpretations. Why ancient societies placed gods and cities in the sky. Ancient societies often placed gods and cities in the sky, a practice that can be interpreted in various ways. One common interpretation is that the sky represented a higher plane of existence, a realm beyond the mundane world. This elevated position symbolized the divine nature of the gods and the idealized state of the cities. For instance, in many mythologies, the sky was seen as the abode of the gods, a place of perfection and immortality. This idea is reflected in the ancient Egyptian belief in the afterlife, where the sky goddess Nut was depicted as arching over the earth, providing a celestial home for the gods and the blessed dead. Another interpretation is that the sky was a symbol of power and authority. By placing their gods and cities in the sky, ancient societies were asserting the supreme authority of these entities. This was a way to reinforce the idea that the gods were all-powerful and that the cities they ruled were divinely ordained. For example, in ancient Mesopotamian mythology, the city of Babylon was often associated with the sky god Marduk, who was believed to have created the world and to rule over it from his celestial throne. This association served to legitimize the city's political and religious authority. The sky also represented a connection between the earthly and the divine realms. Ancient societies often saw the sky as a bridge between the world of humans and the world of the gods. By placing their gods and cities in the sky, they were creating a direct link between these two realms. This idea is reflected in the ancient Greek myth of the Titan Atlas, who was condemned to hold up the sky for eternity. This myth symbolized the idea that the sky was a burden that connected the earthly and divine realms. Furthermore, the sky was often seen as a symbol of order and stability. Ancient societies believed that the sky was a fixed and unchanging entity, a source of cosmic order. By placing their gods and cities in the sky, they were associating these entities with this idea of order and stability. For example, in ancient Chinese mythology, the sky god Chan was believed to be the source of all cosmic order. This association served to reinforce the idea that the gods and cities were sources of stability and order in the world. Early astronomical knowledge. How ancient people mapped skies with surprising precision. Ancient civilizations often relied on the skies for navigation, agriculture, and cultural practices. They developed sophisticated methods to track celestial bodies with remarkable accuracy. For instance, the ancient Egyptians aligned the Great Pyramids with precision to the stars. They used the position of the star Sirius to predict the annual flooding of the Nile, which was crucial for their agriculture. This level of accuracy suggests a deep understanding of astronomical patterns. In Mesoamerica, the Maya created intricate calendars that tracked both solar and lunar cycles. They built observatories like El Caracol, which had windows aligned to specific astronomical events. The Maya could predict solar eclipses and the movements of Venus with surprising precision. Their knowledge of the skies was so advanced that it influenced their religious rituals and daily life. They used this information to plan their agricultural cycles and ceremonies. The Polynesians, known for their exceptional navigation skills, relied on the stars to travel vast distances across the Pacific Ocean. They memorized the positions of stars and their movements to navigate without compasses or maps. This knowledge allowed them to travel between islands with remarkable accuracy. Their understanding of the skies was passed down through generations, ensuring their survival and prosperity. They used the stars not just for navigation but also for storytelling and cultural practices. These examples show that ancient people had a deep and practical understanding of the skies. They developed methods to map and track celestial bodies with surprising precision. This knowledge was integral to their daily lives, influencing everything from agriculture to navigation and cultural practices. Their achievements in astronomy continue to amaze modern scientists and highlight the ingenuity of ancient civilizations. The Tower Civilizations hypothesis, researchers suggesting vertical, not horizontal, cities. Some researchers have proposed an intriguing hypothesis about ancient civilizations, suggesting that they might have built vertical, not horizontal, cities. This idea challenges the conventional understanding of urban development, which typically focuses on cities spreading outwards. Instead, these researchers argue that ancient societies could have constructed towering structures that housed entire communities, creating self-sustaining vertical cities. This concept is not just about tall buildings, it's about entire ecosystems integrated into towering structures, with living spaces, agricultural areas, and communal facilities all stacked within a single, massive edifice. The idea of vertical cities is not entirely new. In fact, it has been explored in various forms throughout history and in modern architecture. For instance, the ancient ziggurats of Mesopotamia were massive step structures that served as both religious and administrative centers. While they were not self-sustaining cities, They did house communities and facilities within their towering forms. Similarly, modern architects have proposed designs for vertical cities to address urban overcrowding and environmental concerns. These designs often include features like vertical farms, green spaces, and efficient transportation systems within a single tower. Proponents of the tower civilization's hypothesis point to several cultural myths and legends that describe sky cities or towering structures that reach the heavens. For example, the biblical story of the Tower of Babel is often interpreted as an attempt by humans to build a city that reached the sky. Similarly, in Hindu mythology, there are stories of ancient flying cities like Lanka, which was described as a towering city with advanced technology. These stories, while mythical, could be interpreted as cultural memories of ancient vertical cities. However, it's important to note that these are speculative interpretations and not concrete evidence. The hypothesis also raises questions about the practicality and feasibility of such cities. Building a vertical city would require advanced engineering and construction techniques. It would need to address issues like structural stability, resource management, and waste disposal. Additionally, the social dynamics of living in a vertical city would be complex. How would communities interact? How would resources be distributed? These are all questions that would need to be addressed. Despite these challenges, the idea of tower civilizations offers a fascinating perspective on ancient urban development and encourages us to rethink our understanding of history and architecture. Lost high-altitude settlements, archaeological hints of towns built above the cloud line. High in the Andes, there are remnants of ancient structures that hint at settlements built so high that they pierce through the cloud line. These are not just random ruins but evidence of towns that thrived at extreme altitudes, where the air is thin and the conditions harsh. Archaeologists have found terraces, houses, and even ceremonial sites perched on mountaintops, suggesting that these were not just temporary encampments but permanent homes. The Incas, for instance, built their cities high in the mountains, taking advantage of the cooler temperatures and the natural defenses that the altitude provided. One of the most famous examples is Machu Picchu, often referred to as the lost city of the Incas. This site is situated at an elevation of around 2,430 meters, 7,970 feet, above sea level. The Incas were master builders, and their ability to construct such intricate structures at high altitudes is a testament to their engineering skills. They used techniques like dry stone walls, which are incredibly stable and can withstand earthquakes. The stones were cut so precisely that they fit together without the need for mortar. This precision is not just impressive, it's a practical solution to the challenges of building at high altitudes, where materials and labor were scarce. The Andes are not the only place where such high-altitude settlements have been found. In the Himalayas, there are similar examples of ancient towns built at extreme heights. The Sherpa people, for instance, have lived in the Himalayas for centuries, adapting to the thin air and harsh conditions. Their settlements are often perched on steep mountain slopes, where they have built terraced fields to grow crops. These terraces not only provide flat surfaces for farming but also help to prevent erosion, which is a significant problem in mountainous regions. The Sherpas have developed a deep understanding of their environment, using local materials and traditional techniques to build homes that can withstand the harsh weather conditions. The existence of these high-altitude settlements raises many questions about how people adapted to living at such extreme heights. The thin air, for instance, would have made breathing difficult, and the cold temperatures would have required special clothing and housing. Yet, these ancient civilizations not only survived but thrived. They developed unique cultures, religions, and social structures that were adapted to their environment. Their ability to build and maintain such settlements is a testament to their resilience and ingenuity. Today, these ruins serve as a reminder of the incredible achievements of ancient civilizations and the challenges they overcame to build their homes in the sky. Myths matching physical geography, linking legends to actual mountain formations. Across various cultures, myths of lost sky cities often align with the rugged and towering landscapes of mountain ranges. These stories, passed down through generations, frequently describe grand cities perched atop or within mountains, now hidden or lost to time. Intriguingly, many of these legends correspond to actual geological features, suggesting a deep connection between the natural world and human imagination. In the Andes, the Inca civilization spoke of the city of Acamama, a mythical place high in the mountains. This legend is often linked to the stunning peaks of the Andes, where the clouds often obscure the summits, creating an ethereal, otherworldly atmosphere. The rugged terrain and the ever-present mist could easily inspire tales of hidden cities. Similarly, the Quechua people have stories of the city of Paititi, a place of great wealth and power, hidden deep within the Amazonian jungle and mountainous regions. The dense foliage and towering peaks of the Andes provide a perfect backdrop for such myths, blending the natural world with fantastical narratives. In Europe, the myth of the lost city of Atlantis has been associated with various mountain ranges, including the Atlas Mountains in North Africa. The name itself is derived from the Titan Atlas, who was condemned to hold up the sky for eternity. The towering peaks of the Atlas Mountains, with their rugged and remote landscapes, fit well with the description of a lost civilization. Similarly, the legend of the lost city of Shambhala in Tibetan Buddhism is often linked to the Himalayas. The Himalayas, with their towering peaks and remote valleys, provide a fitting setting for a mythical city hidden from the world. These myths often serve a practical purpose as well. They can explain natural phenomena, such as the formation of mountains or the presence of unusual geological features. For example, the legend of the lost city of El Dorado in South America is often associated with the Guiana Highlands. The highlands, with their unique tepua formations, inspired tales of a city of gold hidden among the clouds. These stories not only entertain but also help people make sense of the world around them. They provide a way to understand the natural world and the mysteries it holds. Modern parallels, vertical megacities, and why ancient people imagined the same. The idea of towering cities in the sky isn't just a figment of ancient imagination. Today, we are seeing a surge in vertical urban development. Cities like Dubai, with its Burj Khalifa, and New York, with its dense skyscraper canyons, are modern interpretations of ancient aspirations. These structures serve as residential spaces, commercial hubs, and even entire communities. They are a response to limited land, growing populations, and the desire for architectural grandeur. In a way, they echo the ancient myths of sky cities, but with concrete, steel, and glass. Ancient people imagined these sky cities for various reasons. They often symbolized a connection to the divine, a place where gods or advanced beings resided. This idea isn't so different from today's vertical cities. Skyscrapers are often seen as symbols of human achievement and progress. They reach for the heavens, much like the mythical towers of old. The difference is that today, we build these structures with engineering and technology, not magic or divine intervention. The concept of vertical living also addresses practical needs. In ancient times, building upwards was a solution to limited space and the need for defense. Today, it's about maximizing land use in crowded urban areas. Cities like Hong Kong and Singapore are prime examples. They've embraced vertical living to accommodate their dense populations. It's a practical solution, much like the ancient sky cities were imagined to be. There's also a psychological aspect to these towering structures. They inspire and represent human ambition. Ancient myths often depicted sky cities as places of power and knowledge. Modern skyscrapers do the same. They house corporate headquarters, luxury apartments, and even green spaces. They're a testament to human ingenuity and the desire to push boundaries. In this sense, the ancient imagination and modern reality aren't so different. Both are driven by the same fundamental human desires, to reach for the heavens and create something extraordinary. As we wrap up our journey through the ancient sky cities, let's recap the key points that have left us all buzzing with curiosity. We've explored how different cultures, from the Hopi tribes to the Hindu Vedas, have spoken of towering cities that touch the heavens. These weren't just random tales. They shared striking similarities, like advanced technology, sudden disappearances, and connections to the stars. It's as if these civilizations were part of a grand, global puzzle that's been waiting for us to put the pieces together. Now, you might be wondering, what does this mean for us today? Well, imagine if even a fraction of these stories holds true. It could rewrite our understanding of history, technology, and maybe even our place in the universe. It's like standing at the edge of a vast, unexplored continent, and we are just beginning to map it out. So, what's next? We are diving deeper into the mysteries of these lost tower civilizations. In our next video, we'll be exploring the fascinating connections between these sky cities and ancient astronaut theories. Could there be a link? What evidence is out there? And what do experts have to say about it all? Trust me, you won't want to miss it. But for now, it's over to you. Which of these ancient sky cities fascinates you the most? Do you think there's any truth to these tales, or are they just the stuff of legend? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more mind-bending explorations into the unknown. Until next time, keep looking up, keep questioning, and who knows? maybe you'll find the next piece of the puzzle.